Good evening, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. Today, we're going to give you some updated daily expected moves for tomorrow. They proved to be pretty good for today, so why don't we utilize them again? And we are mainly going to be focusing on the SPY, Qs, and the VIX because there is an interesting signal that you might have missed if you weren't really watching today. But we're going to talk a lot about the VIX and how we may have just risen the floor for a couple of days, but we also could see that top at any time. You guys know that I think that a top is really starting to form at this point after we did get the 30-minute divergence down at this level when we had certain reversal signals. The 30-minute divergence that we mentioned when everyone was calling for us to tear down, we noticed that that was able to confirm to the upside, causing the 2-hour squeeze that we overall were expecting. And I decided not to play this because I had a lot of vacation fun and family and things like that going on. Vacation got canceled, but I still had to hang out with family. So it was nice to take a little breather here and just practice some patience. But now I'm having to be a little bit more patient because we were able to ruin some signals for volatility we're going to get into in a moment. 628.06 to the upside for your daily expected move for the SPY. We have 620.06 to the downside for the SPY for your daily expected move. This is your 68% zone for tomorrow. And we touched that line actually today with today's daily expected move, but got to update those on your chart so you are aware. If the 2-hour chart is able to curl up, we could see us get to that 628 level. We would be looking out for reversal. If you wanted the bullish scenario, you need to potentially squeeze here a little bit to raise that floor to continue to the upside if we are going to go tag that upward monthly expected move. If you wanted this to potentially break down, well, we're still looking for this to potentially roll going into tomorrow. And this will make more sense as we go and clear it up with volatility. So we're going to touch on volatility in a moment. We do see that the 30-minute chart overall, if it made a lower high, that would mean that we are heading down to where the weekly expected move downside. So if the 2-hour is able to confirm up, that would mean good things. If we're able to reverse back down, there might be a trap setup. But for now, if the 30-minute is able to rotate down, we would look for that daily expected move. If we're not able to catch ourselves and we see something a little bit crazier, we might be pointing for a little ABC move down to the weekly expected move of 614.74. Now, I really wanted to talk about volatility. We have not lost the 5-day. Nothing about this is really looking too bearish right now, but volatility keeps screaming and saying, hey, we have those reversal signals. Now, the 2-hour, I wanted to discuss it first. We did discuss this going down to lower levels and able to break that low. We discussed how that would maybe want to continue. We are at that point, so we may have bought ourselves some time here for some bullishness over the next few sessions, maybe into expiration, maybe into OpEx, but there is something going on right now that I think you need to pay attention to, which is the 30-minute divergence down here. 2-hour divergences are what caused big volatility to come in the last few times. And you did have this 2-hour almost double bottom that did see that volatility, but you have completely wiped that out at this point. You can see that by just pulling up your MACD and RSI to really see. You don't even have to really click on it. It's right there in front of you. You are pointing straight down. You are negative. Now, the thing that I want to pay attention to is, are we going to see volatility come in tomorrow as we have seen the 30-minute attempt to confirm this signal? Not necessarily the best confirmation here. But we do see this little 30-minute divergence. Is that going to be enough to cause a 2-hour pop? And it's very, very probable that that 2-hour pop is going to come up to here and fail with some kind of head and shoulders for volatility. So what we are looking for, if that top is going to show its face, is some kind of divergence again, right? We have risen the floor, so now we have to pay attention to it again. We would also look for higher lows at this point. Is volatility able to do it? When we zoom out on volatility to a daily scale and we pull up this RSI, you would probably be saying, oh, this is really, really bad. We're violating divergence. If you really pay attention to it, you go, okay, this is lower than this. There's one divergence point. This is lower than this. Okay, so we have not really violated the point that says that volatility is completely gone. And we do have a 30-minute divergence, so it means you have to be a little bit on guard. This does not mean you can't take bullish plays, right? This means that the risk of some kind of downward move is heightened, and we are most likely building a top throughout this week. So we are paying attention. And if you really go look at this, you start to go look at the Qs and things like that. You see that the daily is well extended. You see that the 2-hour chart is making those divergences, and we might have set up another divergence point, or we might go do that tomorrow. So your daily expected move for the Qs, 560.57 to the upside. We have 551.93 to the downside. If we are going to see any form of upside, well, you would look for if that is going to reject at the daily move. If you want to raise the floor here, I think you need to squeeze to the point where you are violating the divergence on the MACD, you are violating the divergence on the RSI. If we want to continue into next week, I believe we need to see some kind of squeeze moment in the next couple of sessions, one that is a little bit more than what we saw today. This is how I'm really viewing markets at this point, because if this is able to curl down, we are still holding all of the divergence points for the Qs. So this is a very, very big deal going forward. And this says that risk is still going to be heightened. And if you wanted proof of that risk being heightened, well, you did potentially buy yourself some time with volatility to recreate the 2-hour signals or recreate some kind of 2-hour higher low. But as of right now, you only have a 30-minute divergence that tells you that there is some kind of 2-hour reaction you can get. If we end up confirming up the daily chart, we'll have to talk about that in tomorrow night's video. So be looking out for it. Make sure you are subscribed and have those notifications on. I apologize that this video has to be a little bit brief. We can still do a lot more with this, but I think with a little bit more information, I think we just say, or at least from my standpoint, for my trading and my personal opinion on markets right now, I still believe that we are heightened risk to see some kind of daily retracement or some kind of daily pullback. Whether we want to leak this out all the way into July, I don't care. I will look for reversal signals because I think that this thing is getting way too irrational at this point. We played the upside, right? This is very, very good because we played the upside here. We played the upside right in here. We played the upside up in here. We played the upside here. And this is the only time where I'm saying, hey, I didn't want to play this one because I think risk is starting to get way too heightened at this point. And I still believe the daily is going to pull back to that monthly expected move in July. And if we don't pull back to that monthly expected move in July, then I would really watch out for August, because the higher we go, I think the uglier this thing will get. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys were able to take something away from it, even if it's just some daily expected moves to help you out tomorrow. I think that's fantastic. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this community, and peace out.